when using tools, it's like using a telescope. You're looking back in time. You're looking at content that is already published and ranked. You're not seeing what your competitors and what your competing businesses in your space are doing on their blog. You're looking at content that they published 1 year ago. And if you only and always just rely on tools to look at it, you'll be always 1 year behind your space, because you're only looking back. You're not looking at right now and the future.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the SaaS SEO Show. I'm your host, Amir Shahzeidi, and today I'm very excited to be joined by Amir Shahzeidi. Amir is the head of search at Uscreen and is abnormally intrigued by all things marketing. He's also a composer and a pianist who's rarely loved by his neighbors because all he ever plays is atonal music. But cats love him, so it's fine. I think that this was the most interesting intro I ever done to a guest. Above all these things, Amir is a good friend, and so for me personally, and so it's very good to have him on the show. Amir, welcome.
Thanks, George. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here, and yeah, I'm excited for discussions and conversation.
Excited as well. Before we jump into some of the things that I'd like to discuss with you today, I would like to know a few things about your background. What has brought you to where you are today?
I think it's a very interesting story because I studied music back in music school, and then I studied classical piano and music composition in conservatory, and then I think all of a sudden I ended up becoming an SEO, working at Uscreen, where I still continue to work at. And I think I just started there. I started as a very junior SEO marketer, and then I tasted different things that the digital marketing space had to offer. And SEO was by far what I really loved and enjoyed. It was very intriguing and really piqued my curiosity. This fact of like, we don't know how Google works, we don't know the full story, and as SEOs we have to reverse engineer in the intent, the audience, and the algorithm to build solid holistic strategies. And that really resonated with me, and I got to where I am here. So from a classical musician to an SEO, it's been a crazy journey.
What's up with musicians and SEOs? Like I had many discussions over these years that I'm into this world of SEO, and it seems like a pattern nowadays. Many musicians are or turn into SEO professionals. So I don't know, maybe there is some kind of connection.
Yeah, maybe because music doesn't really pay well, but
maybe
that's I think that's one of the reasons. But also I think it's about the way SEO works. It's a holistic skill and work, and you need to approach it holistically from foundation to build essentially magic with it and create content and rank and gain visibility. I think that's close to how music also works. The foundation is there. You want to approach it, and also creativity is a big part. I think what I've seen is that a lot of musicians, artists that are really good marketers and just good SEOs are that they use that creativity, they tap into that, and they do things that it may not be very conventional, and it might be interesting campaigns and interesting ideas, and they're not afraid of going out of the traditional way of doing something and breaking the norms and experimenting with things. So
that could be
it's interesting.
Yeah, that could be an explanation. So nowadays you are the head of search at Uscreen. Before we dive into the questions that I have for you and the very interesting things that I'd like us to discuss, could you please give us just an overview of what Uscreen is and who gets the most value out of the product.
Of course. Uscreen is a very interesting product. We're at I think the forefront of a creator economy and where also the web is going, which is video streaming. Uscreen is essentially an all-in-one video monetization platform that allows any creator business to distribute and monetize their content. You could say that it's like launching your own Netflix. So Uscreen gives the complete solution platform for creators, businesses to launch their own membership sites, streaming websites together with branded apps, with marketing, community tools, live streaming, all that packaged into one platform. So creators and businesses don't need to go out of their way to actually code or DIY the streaming service experience, and they can essentially use the turnkey solution that we offer to build that. And yeah, that's essentially the gist of it. It's a very interesting product, and the space is very also interesting. And creator economy is blowing up right now, and it's very exciting to be in this space at this moment. And a lot of these changes and the rapid pace of the industry was because of the pandemic, and because a lot of businesses were forced to convert to a online space and sell their content, maybe monetize their videos. It's sort of similar to what happened to the e-commerce space with Shopify's of the world, where a lot of the brick and mortar businesses had to go online, and maybe your bookstore went online and sold their books online. And same thing essentially happened with video, where a lot of fitness businesses, music theaters, orchestra symphonies, to just your average YouTuber and creator, they all turned into video memberships and video subscription to monetize their content and make money in this day and age.
As the head of search at Uscreen, I guess that you have access to a lot of different tools, SEO tools. And we both know that many SEO professionals are very kind of obsessed when it comes to tools, using tools to do this, to do that, using the latest tool to achieve this, and so on. I would like to know your thoughts when it comes to SEO tools. How do you approach tools nowadays? And also, hypothetically speaking, let's say that you start working on a new website from scratch when it comes to SEO. Do you need any tools to get started, or you could take a completely different approach?
Yeah, really good question. I think it's very interesting because you don't see the other digital marketing jobs and professionals being so obsessed with tools as SEOs are, like social media managers or email marketers. They have like a couple tools here and there, but SEOs literally have a bazillion Chrome extensions, and they have like 5 tools for keyword research and 3 tools for tech SEOs, and crawl logs and log analysis, and to a lot of different things. And I think tools do offer a lot of value, but they also, if SEOs rely on them too heavily, they also tend to take away a lot of your creativity and things you should maybe thinking about. As it's funny, but because when I started, I did love using a lot of tools for research and looking at different things, and the metrics of KDs and how much search volume I get. But as time passes, I find myself not really even caring about the keyword difficulties and search volumes and all of those metrics. One, because they're not really accurate at all. and two, because they don't care. At the end of the day, they don't care that much in terms of how much business a certain topic can bring to you. You know, you may get 100, page views a month, but maybe from that 110 of them converts. And you may also bring 1 million, but from those 1 million, maybe, 5 of them convert. So there's a big difference there. I think I see SEO tools as more of especially the keyword research tools and keyword clustering tools, all that, as more of idea validation tools, where we could use them to validate what we have, or maybe forecast what could happen. They could be helpful for content gap analysis and all that, but at the end of the day, I think it's up to SEOs to understand their business, understand the objectives, understand the audience and the search intent, and then connect the dots. What does your audience need? What is their search behavior? These are difficult questions, but as SEOs, we have to think about them, and we have to answer them, and we have to experiment with them, regardless of what tools tell you. If you feel like in your gut that, hey, my audience may be searching this keyword to, find my tool, even if Ahrefs or SEMrush tells you it has zero volume, or this keyword is bad to target, if you feel like that intent directly correlates with the business that you offer, you should go and try to rank there. Doesn't matter what tools tell you, because the tools cannot tell you if a topic will bring you business. And at the end of the day, that's what we do with our SEO. We want to bring business, not traffic for the sake of traffic. The other things that I always usually tell people when I onboard them to my team is that when using tools, it's like using a telescope. You're looking back in time. You're looking at content that is already published and ranked. You're not seeing what your competitors and what your competing businesses in your space are doing on their blog. You're looking at content that they published 1 year ago. And if you only and always just rely on tools to look at it, you'll be always 1 year behind your space, because you're only looking back. You're not looking at right now and the future.
I think that even though most of these tools have, or some of them at least have, the capability of, let's say, spotting a trend as it emerges, most of them, especially for search volume, rely on averages for the last, for example, 12 months. So I would say that obviously tools, metrics, I will focus on metrics specifically. People should take them with a pinch of salt, because they cannot tell you the whole, the full truth. But I would like to ask again the second part of my question, which was, if you were to start doing SEO, let's say on a new website, brand new website today, and you had a good understanding of what the audience is and so on, what would you say would be the tools that you definitely need in order to do your work properly?
Yeah, I think one thing that I would say is that it also depends on the industry and niche you are in a lot of, depending also geolocation, a lot of depending on where you are and what business you're in, a lot of the tools may have a lot of data for you, and they may have literally no data for you. So it's important to know essentially where you are and what you're doing. But I think that the first step is, again, understanding the business, understand the objectives. If you want to maybe it brings, I guess, trials, or you want to convert people, or you in e-commerce, or you do you want to sell specific, I don't know, coats or jackets. you need to understand the business and go about figuring out the content funnel and the stages of that the user goes through. You need to think about the audience pain points at each of those stages. What are they looking at, and what do they need? Is it more of an informational query that they're looking for, maybe how-tos, or maybe are they looking for listicle, best X software or whatnot, or are they specifically looking for your business or comparing it to other businesses? All of these, you don't need any SEO tools to think about them. You really do not need any SEO tool to do that. You can start with zero and not use any SEO tool and just use Google and its autocomplete feature and related terms and the FAQs that it adds there. Use YouTube, use Reddit, use Quora to do your research and start building your content strategy. At Uscreen, when we started 4 years ago, that was pretty much what we did because our industry didn't have a lot of demand. There wasn't a lot of literally Ahrefs, SEMrush didn't have any info on some of the highest performing articles that we right now have. They were showing literally zero search volume for them, but we know now that they bring thousands of visitors to our website that they do convert. So relying on tools, if we were to rely on those tools, we would never get to where we are in our journey. So that goes also for a lot of different businesses, new blogs, personal blogs. If you want to do something great, use your own creativity and the audience that you want to target. Don't just solely rely on the tools. But of course, you can also, if you want to spend and invest in the money into tools, you can start with maybe I would go probably with an all-in-one solution that gives you both tech SEO and maybe on-page SEO. And most likely my choice would be Ahrefs, but also SEMrush. Both are really good tools.
Indeed.
For new blogs and new businesses, they may be a bit of an expense or investment, but they're definitely worthwhile tools to have, both for competitive research and also keyword research.
I think that what you mentioned about taking a look at simply the results at Google is something that I also tell my team very often, that in many cases, in most cases, you will get the answers that you're looking for right from the SERP. You don't have to open any tools whatsoever, because the answer is there. What Google expects to see for a given term, it's right there. Google is going to tell you, this is what I expect to see in order to rank a piece of content or a page or whatever. So I think that in many cases, the answer is simply there for someone to go and find. Now, speaking of different, let's say different stages on a customer's life cycle journey, very often I get to hear people comparing organic search and paid search, and they do that in an effort to come up with a winner. But honestly, I believe this approach is wrong. I'd like to hear your thoughts when it comes to organic and paid search. How do you approach those two worlds, and what do you do in order to have them, to bring them together?
Very good question. I think they go hand in hand. There's really no competition between organic and paid. For a business to succeed and scale, you need to have a good foundation and strategies for both paid and organic. I do think that a lot of times what I've seen in SaaS and a lot of businesses is that paid search and organic search, they live in their own separate silos, and there's not much cross collaboration between the two teams, which is a very bad missed opportunity for for the two teams to work together, because at the end of the day, I think both teams try to target specific intent, bring business, and their missions align. It's the medium that they use to get there that is different. And because of that, I think A is the communication. There's really need to be good communications between the two teams. I don't think paid is that different from organic in terms of strategies. You still need to understand your audience intent, what they may be searching for, and you need to start. Most likely with paid, you'll be more targeted and you'll have a more surgical targeting of what is exactly that will bring business to me. Because when you start with PPC, you want to bring business, you want to put some money, you want to gain something out of it. Nobody wants to just lose money. So a lot of businesses start with targeting those lower hanging fruits, their branded terms and their maybe the competitor brand names and transactional intent type queries. But but down the line, again, with PPC, as you scale it, you have to have a complete funnel. You cannot just, for the life of your company, just target your branded terms or company or competitor terms, or you'll have to open that up. You'll have to build a funnel. You'll have to have a tofu or mofu and bofu in terms of your strategy. You need to, down the line, maybe target more of a how-to queries. They won't bring business right in there, but you'll build a brand awareness, brand authority. Down the line, you can retarget them with the social ads. Maybe you can get their email and then bring them into your email funnel, and then convert them to maybe a SQL, get them to sales. So there's a lot that can be said and can be done with both paid and organic. I think alignment is really important thing to make sure that the two teams have alignment, and you share the, keyword intent, keyword strategy, and try to really attack different queries and intent, both with organic and paid. On Google, unfortunately, organic sometimes is being pushed down to below the fold, even if you're ranking number one. Now, as SEOs, we can be very pissed about that and very angry, because we do put a lot of work and effort into everything that we do to get them to rank number one. And if you have like 4 ads at the top with a lot of call to actions, then your number one ranking won't be that interesting to audiences. So that's where, if a keyword brings business, why not target it with both organic and paid? You're gonna get your money back anyway, either through organic and paid. It's not a race, really. It's about bringing the business with both mediums and both tools that we have.
I agree with you. And I also think that there has to be an open dialogue when it comes to the teams or vendors or whatever, both the paid one and the organic search one. And this is something that we are trying to achieve with our clients as well. Because in many cases, what happens with us as an agency is that we are trying to work on the organic search of the things, and in many cases the client will have an agency handling PPC and so on, and it's difficult because it's like we are working on completely different missions while the mission is one, and we should be working closer together. So I think that having an open dialogue is key here. I like to,
and it's so useful to actually have that open dialogue, because with paid you can do something that you cannot do with organic, which is testing different keywords. You can run a phrase match, ad group and target a lot of the longer tails, maybe head keywords, see exactly what drives conversion. And then if it works, you can actually, target it with organic, create content. You don't have to create a 5,000 guide to figure out if this actually means business for you. You can actually maybe put $400-$500 into an ad group, a campaign, and gauge how much that keyword or that topic may be worthwhile to you and to your organic strategy. So I think it's crucial for two teams to really align, to have open dialogues, for them to organic team to check search terms of the in Google Ads, and for the Google Ads team to check Google Search Console, and then GA to see which blog post, which content, which keywords actually brings business. And then you can really target them well, both with organic and paid.
I'd like to shift gears a bit and discuss something that I know you are very interested in, which is YouTube SEO. And the first question that I have for you is that we obviously know that YouTube is the second most popular search engine after Google, and we see very often nowadays, and I only expect this to increase, videos on getting featured in Google search results and so on. Now, the question that I have for you, the first question that I have for you with regards to YouTube SEO is whether or not it's too late for a new brand, for example, for a new SaaS company to start creating content on YouTube. Do they stand a chance, or is it simply too late to start publishing content on YouTube?
I don't think it's ever going to be too late to create content and publish content on YouTube or any other social media or platform. Will it be more difficult? It can be, depending on your niche. For example, if you're in SEO niche, maybe it's going to be very difficult for you because there's a lot of SEOs and businesses. But doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it. Video still is the best medium we have to convey information, teach people, and connect and engage with people. It's the best tool we have. An article is never going to be really even close to how much of a value a piece of video content can be. So for ranking purposes, maybe it's going to be a bit difficult for you, but it shouldn't be only for ranking purposes. If you want to invest in a strategy, it shouldn't be just only for search visibility. It should also be for, hey, I want to nurture my audience. I want to engage with them. I want to maybe have a live stream with them and answer their questions and build that sense of community, rather than just use written content on a blog. In 2021, and especially true in 2022, content marketing is not going to be just blog. It's never going to be that. Video is a big chunk of that. And if you're not really investing in video, you're losing a big opportunity for your brand to connect with audiences, to engage with them, use them. You can use videos for ads, you can use them for how-to videos, you can use them for demos, you can use them for live streams. It's so repurposable and so flexible that you can use it for a lot of different purposes, and it always outperforms the written content in every format that you can think of.
Yeah, video is definitely a powerful format, and we have seen that as well, considering the fact that we publish on YouTube every episode of the SaaS SEO. So I agree with what you just said. Now, I'd like us to dive a bit deeper into that and try to understand what drives ranking specifically when it comes to YouTube. What, in your experience, are the factors that contribute to higher rankings and higher visibility on YouTube?
It's an interesting discussion because especially if you're an SEO coming from the web side of things to video, you may think that, oh, I need to have like a really good, perfect title, or I need to write maybe a nice description filled with a lot of keywords. But it's not really the case for YouTube. Interestingly enough, YouTube's algorithm is focused solely on audience engagement. And that's watch times, audience retention, how much of your content on your channel user watches on average, what percentage of your videos get watched on average. YouTube is an entertainment platform, wants to hold the viewers' attention and keep them on the platform. Now, some of that is because they want to make ad money, or maybe upsell them to the YouTube Premium. Definitely, they're in the business side of things, but it's also good for the YouTube creator space there, because if YouTube was a platform that the audience didn't engage with, it's never gonna, it would never be what it is today, right? And YouTubers wouldn't have the audience that they right now have, wouldn't be making the money that they would be making. So YouTube's success is the creator's success, and creator's success is YouTube's success. And in terms of, and that's essentially how the ranking works, right? YouTube wants to keep audiences on the platform. As a creator and SEO, you need to ensure that your videos are engaging and they're going to retain the audience. If they're not, you're not just going to succeed with ranking, adding some keywords to your title. We have that video optimization side of things, which is like 80% of the pie. You need to create engaging content, but you also have that 20% of that, hey, I need to still do keyword research, understand what keywords or intend to target with my videos, and optimize your title and description. But that's really 10%, 20% of it. 80% is that you create quality content. If you cannot do that, you're not going to succeed with that 10, 20%. So it's a very interesting balance that you'll have to really make sure that you offer good quality experience to your viewers, which is not the case for web SEO as we know it. A lot of times you can't get away with low quality content and still rank high. With YouTube, it's very, very difficult to really do something like that. And at the end of the day, if something is low quality, people are much quicker to leave the video than an article. So they opt out really quickly if it's not good for them.
The thing is that, as I see it, most people focus on that 20% that you mentioned because it's easier to tweak the title tag. It's easier to add some keywords in the description of the video maybe, but it's difficult to create really, really good video that adds value to the audience and so on. So I would say that people tend to focus on the easy stuff. And obviously this is what makes many YouTube accounts stand out, because they focus on the difficult things. And I don't think that, when you have a great video, you have to worry so much about tweaking the title so that you make it more SEO friendly, let's say, or anything like that.
100%. It's I think it's all overblown how much of an impact a title can have. I mean, like, if we're being realistic and if we check exactly the content that we consume on YouTube and look at their titles and look at their description, a lot of good creators are not really putting a lot of efforts into the title or description optimization. It's all about the content. You'll see a lot of videos that essentially don't have description. Like the description is empty and title is just an average title. but you see the video for the creator, you see the video for the channel, for the quality and education or entertainment that you're going to get out of that video, not for the title optimization and all that. And I think YouTube's algorithm is built around that. It's built to really push out those type of content to viewers, the content that really holds the viewers' attention. So it's really important to think about the quality that your video is going to have and work on that.
I agree on that. I agree. The last question that I have for you is that I know, I guess that it was a long journey, but you've managed to grow Uscreen from 0 to almost 100,000 organic keywords and 100,000 organic visits per month, according to Ahrefs at least. I'm not sure how close these numbers are to reality, but what I'm interested in is to know your thoughts on what will take you to the next level. How do you approach content SEO strategy at this stage that the website and the company is at?
Yeah, it's a very interesting question. It's a difficult one to answer because as SEOs, we'll always have to strategize and come up with solid strategies. We won't really know the final answer or the silver bullet always. It's going to be a lot of experimentation, but not a lot will change in terms of what we've done so far to get where we are and what we're going to do to take the next step and scale our content and SEO engines. It's going to still be focused on targeting the right intent of our audiences around the business that we have, the strategies that we have, the product pipeline and where the product is headed, and how we can align SEO and content strategies with the vision of the product, where the product is headed, and what type of audience we would need to bring for the right fit of that product. It's gonna still be focused on quality content, but definitely as you scale and grow your traffic, you're gonna have to scale teams. You're gonna have to hire more people, hire good people, which we're doing. We're hiring a lot of good people. But you're gonna have to hire a lot of good people and scale the teams, which is a growing pain. It's difficult to hire good people, and it's difficult to do those to scale teams. I would say that's actually the interesting part of the growth, because you would think that's a lot of strategies, but at some point it's about hiring the right people. It's more of like admin work of finding, attracting, and retaining the right people to help you get where you want to be. I think it's more about moving forward. It's more about scaling teams, hiring good people, and also aligning different teams, as mentioned, paid with organic product and organic and paid strategies, as well as video. We're going to continue on solidifying our holistic approach to SEO, which includes a lot of different content, from podcasts to live streams to videos and to written content, to tools, to different types of content, to be able to capture different audiences in different stages of the funnel with different intent. We want to make sure that we offer them quality content that helps them to take the next step and become successful creators and make money doing what they love.
That all sounds very interesting, and really excited about the future of Uscreen and in general. Amir, where can people find more about you and get in touch?
You can find me on LinkedIn, Amir Shahzeidi, and you can check us out at uscreen.tv, and screen.tv. And as mentioned, we're hiring a lot of people, so that would be my plug. So if you want to grow your career, check us out at Uscreen.tv and apply for your next position with us. I think you're gonna enjoy the ride.
I think that's the perfect call to action. So Amir, I'd like to thank you very much for finding the time to do this. I found it to be very, very insightful, and looking forward to the next one.
Thank you, George. It was awesome to be here with you, and yeah, see you next time.